Hi everybody, I'm Belbéoc'h, calling you from São Paulo, Brazil. I'm happy to be with you today to present in about half an hour different concepts of merchandising applied to e-commerce. So let's present myself a little bit. I'm Belbéoc'h. I worked about 12 years in e-commerce. I passed 6 years in Europe, 5 in China and 1 in Brazil. I worked mainly in 3 different sectors: fashion and apparel. While at La Redoute, I was e-commerce coordinator for Europe. Then in 2004 I moved to China, where I started the operation of e-commerce for the L'Oréal Group. Then in 2010 I joined Group ADO in the DIY sector, and I worked 3 years traveling in the business unit of the group to evolve e-merchandising and e-commerce practices. Today, it has been about 1 year, I joined one of the business units, Leroy Merlin in Brazil, to start e-commerce operations. So let's start on the subject by presenting some concepts. First, some definitions of merchandising that applies as well for Internet. The one I prefer from American Marketing Association: merchandising is the planning involved in marketing the right merchandise at the right place, at the right time, in the right quantities, and at the right price. It's the one I prefer because it's really structuring your activity, your e-merchandising activity. I'll add another one that gives a little bit more precision about styling and timing. It's planning, developing, and presenting of product lines for identified markets with regard to pricing, assorting, styling, and timing. So today I'll mainly focus on finding the right product and also on how to present your products to your targeted visitors. So after these two definitions, let me present you one of the biggest problems of e-merchandising: the long tail. Everybody knows the long tail, and everybody believes that on internet there is no limitation of space to store products. So a website can easily contain more than 500,000 products, and even more. And this leads to forgetting one of the strongest KPI of merchandising: the profitability per square meter. As you can see on the bottom left photo from Tesco UK, a big effort of merchandising has been made in partnership with L'Oréal, and apparently the health and beauty section is looking nice. When you look at the website, it's a screenshot I've taken yesterday, it's really a very different appeal for the customer. So some facts and figures to convince you a little bit more about this problem. First, the average store conversion rate is about 20 to 50%. But the e-commerce conversion rate, it can be as low as 0.5 and up to 5%. So the difference is quite huge and is not going to close in the next few years. The second point is the average time spent on a store. On average is 20%, obviously depending on which store it is. And the average time spent on an e-commerce website is between 3 and 5 minutes. Today, we also have another information, which is a statistic rule. It has been proven that the rate at which people leave a website decrease strongly after 20 seconds. And the first 5 and 10 seconds, the rate of chance, the number of chance that a visitor will leave your website is huge. So it will scan your page, and in about 10 seconds it will decide if he believes that the product he is looking for is inside your website. Every one of you knew this by heart since about 10 years, but today it's a fact, it's a rule, It's a statistic rule that has been proven for more than 99% of the case. So we know that we have to present our offering very clearly in the first 10 seconds so that the users has a chance to continue looking inside our website. Let's go to the first point, the macro merchandising. Knowing this last rule, we know that there is a strong point for macro merchandising. We need to convey to the visitors a clear vision of what we have inside our website. So 2 points here. First, give the visitors the ability to scan quickly your catalog. So let's go through different examples. Here is Walmart. Even if you don't understand Portuguese, I guess you can imagine what they have to sell. Here is IKEA. They try to convey image that represent well their offering. Here is Etsy. Etsy has a huge catalog, and they also try to use a combination of image and text to express more about their offering. The second point is trying to show things or products that are complex to express thanks to images or drawings. Here we have McMaster-Carr, which is one of my favorite cases because they have a huge catalog and it's one of the hardest to explain. So most of you, I believe, don't know how to spell, even in Russian, most of the items or the products they sell. But through the navigation items, visual navigation they have, it makes it really easy. I'll go through another website which has a much smaller catalog, but it's quite interesting as well because not all of their customers knows about the shape of the car. So adding the photo of the car together with the name makes it easier for the customer to visualize. So one other example here, Sunglass Hut. It's quite interesting the way they present their offering through style. So you can see here that they split their offering through butterfly sunglasses, cat eye sunglasses, and so on. And they use also icons and photos to convey more meaning to their offering. So let's go to the second topic of macro merchandising, searchandising. Search is counting about 40% of e-commerce visitors. And the conversion rate is known to be much higher than from navigation. So let's go to one of the strongest features of searchandising, the autocomplete. Today, the objective of searchandising is to try to maximize the number of customers that will find the products they are looking for through search. Most of the times, customers don't know really well the exact product they are looking for. So in this case, we're trying to propose some product categories so that the visitor will directly click on the suggested category and arrive on a category page that has been well merchandised, showing clearly with pictures, for example, the product range you have. So here in this example of Home Depot, you can see that the auto-suggest feature is showing products, categories, brands, buying guides, installations, and a lot of other features. Here is another example from ozone.ru. I don't understand anything of what's here in the search box, but I can see some image with price. It should be a product. And also I believe that the three first proposal show one kind of product inside a category. And this feature is quite interesting because sometimes we have, for example, in DIY, people looking for taps, water taps, and they just write tap, but I don't know where to redirect them, because sometimes it could be tap for kitchens, which is one section, tap for bathroom can be another one, and so on. So here is a list of some tips to improve your merchandising. So first of all, try to index all kind of content. So if you activate like the search engine reporting on Google Analytics, you'll be able to look at all the keywords people are looking inside your search engine. So from this list, from the list of the top 20, top 50 keywords, you'll probably notice that some of the keywords aren't products. In this case, try to index them as well. Most of the e-commerce websites currently, they only look for products. So if your customers are looking for any other information, they won't be able to find it on the search engine. Second thing, collect and review the keywords leading to 0 results. And do it regularly, because you will learn a lot by this, and you can decide after if you are going to add products on your website that aren't sold yet on the website, or that the algorithm of the search engine is not really well tuned and you have to work a little bit on it to enhance the results. Third point, create landing page. If you have 5,000 people looking for one product each week, you have to build a specific landing page so that people that are looking for these products arrive directly on a well-merchandised, well-designed landing page that will convert much more. The last one, work on the indexation algorithm. If you have an in-house search engine, or if you can tune your search engine, work on it. Note all the details, all the results that are not really good, and try to enhance it. Here are a few examples. First, our own Google Analytics keyword report. So here are the 8 most searched keywords for our website. We know we have to work on good landing page for the categories tiling and tiling, cement, and so on. Here also our search engine reporting tool for not found keywords. So we had to index a content that is help desk. A lot of people looking for help desk information, and also courses that we provide in the stores. Let's go now to our second part of our presentation, micro merchandising. So here we let the customer or the visitor to the right section of our website. He is or she is in front of a big quantity of products. She knows she wants one of these products. So let's attack first the filters. You all know the facets or filters that are generally speaking on the top or on the left of the category page. So first, an example of why you need to order your filters, to use visual filters, and to use customer-oriented filters, which is the most advanced feature. Let's look at Zappos. The way they present their offering, and especially the facets of the filters at the left, helps a lot the customer. Because if any of you already bought some shoes online, you all know that you're looking to browse a long time to find the good-looking shoes, and then it happens most of the time that the shoes you found are not available in your size. So the first facet to put in a shoe store is the size. And you can see the wrong example here. The color, the filter by color, where you cannot even see the kind of color, is a bad example. Let's go to another website, Taobao, which is the biggest e-commerce website actually in the world. Here is the way they present one of their facets, which is the heel. There is apparently a lot of ways to describe heels for women. I don't know even in English myself, but here this facet is quite helpful for people to select exactly the right kind of shoes they want to find. These facets, they are very useful in either navigation, traditional navigation through menus, or through search. Because when you arrive in a search results, you see the same facets, usually, as you would find in a traditional navigation. Another example on Amazon, that is currently trying to copy some features of McMaster, is the visual facets for screws. So you can see that you can filter by screw, and it's quite useful again to filter, because most of us don't know what is an oval or socket cap screw. Customer-oriented facets. It's one advanced feature that is quite interesting, because we try to know the key on try for customers when they are looking for this kind of product. So, for example, here on L'Oréal in Spain, they believe that selecting a grass mower is mostly done by the size of your garden. Even though most of the information you get from the supplier of grass mower are mostly technical. So if you compare, for example, with B&Q, you will see that the facets, the filters they have, are mostly technicals. For example, the brand, the cutting width, and the engine motor power. So we see here the advantage of trying to build facets that are really customer-oriented, instead of only pushing to the customer the technical facets you get from your suppliers. Second point, cross-marketing and tools. Here, depending on the complexity of your project or product, you will need to show complementary products. Most of you knows about the complementary products you used to see on Amazon. For example, when you buy a book, they will suggest other books that you're likely to be interested in. For DIY, the cross-selling feature is generally more strict than the suggested products we have on traditional e-commerce websites. I'll take an example here on Madeira, which is one of the leading websites selling floor equipment in Brazil. They present their product offering. You see the product page, and on the right you have a box to digit the number of square meter you'll need of flooring to cover your room, for example. Then you'll click on the orange button on the right, and the website will suggest you the complementary product you will need to really finalize your project. The big problem here is that if you don't suggest the right product in the right quantity, then the consumer will have to go in the store to purchase them. So he will be quite disappointed by the experience you give online. So the complexity of this complementary product cross-selling tool is quite high, because you need to calculate the number of products according to the quantity, the volume of each. If we continue on the same type of products that have a big impact because they are most likely project kind of products, a product that will change the way your dining room looks, for example, in the case of Crate and Barrel and furniture, most of the leader on the field try to provide tools for consumers to imagine how will look their home after they purchase the product. It will reduce the distance between the computer and the product, because they have way to imagine and to reduce the risk of purchasing the wrong product. Here is one example with Crate and Barrel that is providing an iPad 3D app to let their visitors imagine how their apartment will look after purchasing one of their furniture. Another one is Sherwin-Williams, which is a leading supplier of painting. They have an advanced tool where you can upload your picture, the photo of your room, and then apply one of the paints color they have to see what it will look like and to help you decide before purchasing. The third part of the presentation, visual merchandising. Basically, the concept I want to convey here is the difference between advanced retailers that display their offering with different kind of merchandising depending on the section on the products, but most of them still have the same merchandising on their e-commerce website. I'll go directly into 4 examples, all from large DIY retailers. One example is in decoration, where products are placed in situation to inspire customers walking through the section. Here, in kitchen, the store is trying to show the large variety of colors they have. Here on hardware, where it's always very difficult for customers to find the exact product they're looking for, the stores try to install color codes and designs at the top of the section to help the customer find its ways until the product he's looking for. This store apparently purchased a lot of quantity of products and displayed all these products in a way that it shows to the customer that it should be a very good deal, because the store is very confident in selling a huge quantity of products in a short time. So after seeing some of these examples, why should it be different on e-commerce websites? On most of the e-commerce websites I've seen, sometimes the merchandising looks very nice, but most of the time it's the same merchandising you see in all different categories. Let's go rapidly through 3 different examples. As a reference, I selected a Home Depot, which is a world #1 in DIY, and I took other examples in websites that are specialists in their field. So, for example, decorative items. I selected here the decorative pillows. Here is a case of Home Depot with standard merchandising. And here is what we can see for Crate and Barrel. Another example, here in kitchen, the exact same merchandising, showing a list of 100 products into kitchen cabinets. And for example, another website here in France selling kitchens, only kitchens. The same website, Home Depot, hardware category, exact same merchandising, McMaster car that you already know. So that's all with these 3 examples, showing that you can do an effort to try to think a different way of navigation, a different way of presenting products for each different kind of categories. We finally arrived to the last part, best practices. I'll give you some tips to boost your remerchandising. First, know your priorities. what is the size of your catalog, how many different categories do you have, how technically difficult it is to buy your products, is there a big component of styling on your products, and does most of your customers know even how to spell your products? Are your products very expensive, very costly to install or to replace? All these questions will help you define the priorities to start building and refining your re-merchandising. Here are some tools you can use to improve your merchandising. You can, for example, use heat maps, replay user sessions, use A/B test, monitor your return on investment by product families, use in-store questionnaires, use automated customer satisfaction surveys. Finally, you need to test and to invest time to test on all devices and browsers, otherwise a big part of your user base will be frustrated on devices such as iPad, mobiles. You can also use a traditional store planning tool. Here we have a planogram that could be used also to define each section of your category page. Here we have an example of a heat map tool. This is our home page, and you can see that our two main navigation tools, the search engine and the left navigation menus, are really being heavily used. The next tool I'm going to show you here is Inspectlet. It's a session recording engine, and you can see that here we are replaying a navigation session of one of our visitors. So in this example, I selected somebody that has been visiting the decorative section of the site. And we can follow up his navigation. Sometimes it can be very insightful, and you can see right in your face problems that any analytic tools won't be able to show you. Well, we arrived at the end of the presentation, and to summarize, we've been through macro merchandising, which includes the main navigation concepts on searchandising. Then we've passed through micro merchandising concepts, especially the organization of your facets or filters. We've seen also cross-marketing tools. Then we passed a review of visual merchandising techniques, especially trying to have differentiated visual merchandising on each of your main categories. Finally, if there is one thing you could remember, is trying to get the same concept as a store, trying to improve the efficiency of your square centimeter of screen. Whatever the screen, tablet, mobile, computer, big screen, or anything else, your square centimeter of screen is of high value. Thank you very much for your attention. Feel free to ask me any question on my email or Twitter account, and enjoy the rest of the salon.